The following contains mature subject matter, sexuality, and coarse language. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Give me your best Jay Deachman introing him as if he is making his way onto the stage for the WWE.
Okay, I want to get too loud, but yeah, I guess we will. Hey, everybody, I want to introduce you next to Jay Deachman, a primo drummer, a primo dude. And we have a two-part episode coming up. He's a great guy. You're going to love him. A lot of history with him and his family in this country. If it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for his grandfather, we wouldn't have that flag we have there behind Pigeon there. And you're going to hear a story about that coming up next. So hold on. Drop your socks and grab your cucks. Get ready for DMFK the Pidge.
There he
Can you
is.
guys hear me?
Jay Deachman, everybody.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah,
I
we
can
hear you.
Yes, I can hear and see you.
This is a common thing I've been seeing. I saw someone else's talking on Zoom, and everyone on the bottom left, you have to unmute yourself at the start of every show, basically.
Yeah, no, first time I ever used Zoom. So like I'm just sitting here going like, but again, like, you know, I'm a grandpa kind of thing. So I'm just like, you know, I'm always grandpa with a remote with a phone or an iPad or anything like that. So, you know, hello everybody. How are you, Matt?
I'm great. Jay, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
What a pleasure to meet you as well, sir. Right on. Well,
I was just telling Dave, I've met a few of his friends recently through this app here. With the way things are right now in the world, there's no handshakes, there's no one-on-one meetings. Everyone's just zooming around.
yeah, that's what it is, right? What we do. Yeah, Davey. You know what's like? Here's an interesting thing because I mean, you guys, I'm sure you want to talk about the drumming crap. But Mr. Grant is standing behind you is something that my grandfather picked. My family business is being a member of Parliament, way back to my great grandfather. And I kind of broke off from that, even though I did study political science at Carleton in Ottawa and all that kind of thing. I did break off from it to do drumming, but and my grandfather was the chairman of the committee that picked Canadian flags. So there we go.
That is amazing. So what are your thoughts on seeing this flag? What do you think your grandfather, your relatives would think to see a Canadian flag with over 1,000 signatures on it? Would that be a good thing or a sign of disrespect, do you think?
No, because it's out of love, right?
That's right. That's what.
Yeah.
It's
Nothing more Canadian.
That's right.
Because you're not hanging it upside down.
Yeah, that's right. It's on the floor.
You know what I mean?
It's not touching the floor.
Now, let me tell you something interesting, and somewhere in here I have it, is that the way my grandfather described it, there was this other one. Fuck, where the fuck is it? Somewhere in this museum of a place I have it. Like in politics, like he's the chairman of this committee. The prime minister at that time was Prime Minister Pearson. And he had, like, again, it's just like it is now. You have the conservatives, the liberals. My whole family has always been liberals. And like they wanted the flag that's behind you. There was, fuck, where do I have this shit? I should have prepared or something, eh? Fuck, is it over? No. Fuck.
Hey, Keenan.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. The maple leaf was slightly different, okay? And that's the one that they wanted, that my grandfather wanted, was the one that's behind you, the one we have now. It had just like 2 extra little things on the maple leaf. But the conservatives were going really hard against them. And I believe the leader of the conservatives at the time was Diefenbaker. And so what they did, and this is like pure politics, which has worked into my music career definitely, is they said, well, Prime Minister Pearson liked this flag that was had blue stripes and 3 maple leaves in the middle. And I have it here somewhere. I didn't realize we'd end up talking about this. I would have prepared something, right? But so 2 blue stripes, 3 maple leaves. And so my grandfather kind of like made it seem everybody wanted the flag we had, but in order to get the Conservatives on board, my grandfather made it seem that the Liberals, the ruling party at the time, really wanted this one with 2 blue stripes and 3 maple leaves. So that the Conservatives would go like, fuck that, we want the one with the 2 red. And they voted, and yeah. You know, you kind of
Imagine that. That was smart in the Conservatives.
you gotta kind of dangle it
Just
out a
joking,
little bit,
everybody, relax.
and then you get what you want. You know what I mean? So anyway, but it's lovely to see. Yeah, my grandfather would be proud of the signatures. I mean, I'm a very proud Canadian.
Little reverse psychology there. Made history. Our flag is, I think, is the best flag ever in the world.
I agree.
Sea to shining sea, big maple leaf. Ain't nothing better than some maple syrup. Come on, everybody.
Like, and again, we're at my museum. You can see all the shit in the back, like the platinum records and that kind of shit. But I mean, like, over here's a
humble brag.
Not a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal around here.
This lived on my grandfather's desk, you know, forever. Just this little wooden thing with the Canadian flag. And I keep like things like that for my grandfather. He passed away many years ago, but I mean, you know, I keep these little kind of things. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know. Anyway,
your grandfather just watched us break your Zoom cherry. Proud. Very proud.
Hey, Jay.
I hope he has better things to do.
So Jay, Dave Keenan and I, we've known each other for at least 3 decades plus. I'm curious, and you and I, we've never met in person. This is the first time we're having a conversation. So I'm curious, how did you first meet Dave Keenan? Like, how did your friendship start? I'm curious.
I think through our friend Andrew Gerard,
yep.
Who's Andrew's one of those assholes that is amazing at everything he freaking it's just like he's so annoying because anything he picks up, he just excels at. Like, I mean, like exponentially, you know, like one of the greatest magicians ever, one of the greatest hypnotists ever, one of the greatest guitar players I've ever played with, like an amazing singer, songwriter, and then photography, killing it. Like, I mean, like just everything he does is fantastic.
Acting, and directing, producing.
Yeah, just kills it, right? So what's hilarious about him though is that Andrew, like, you know, I knew that he worked with Chris Angel, Mind Freak, and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of went to him. I'm like, all right, like, can you hypnotize me? And fuck, like, I mean, it might have been 10 seconds. I don't know, like, how long it was. I'm like a goldfish though, so I'm just like super open and super like, oh, this is fun, yeah, all right. So he hit, like, we're just sitting there. We were doing, like, I think when I was playing in his band, we did this thing at Danny's house, the singer, Danny Dana, and we're at his place. And so I asked him, like, hey, can you hypnotize me? And he's like, yeah, like, hold on. And he kind of like, he hypnotized me. He's like, put your hands together. And he stuck my thumbs together. I mean, just through words. He's like, okay, your thumbs are stuck together now, aren't they? And they fucking were. They were. I couldn't take my hands apart. Like, I mean, I'm just sitting there like, yeah, they're stuck together now. And he's done it so many times that I joke, like, when I do have the opportunity to go to lunch with him or something, I swear to goodness, he just takes me in an alley and feeds me the paper. Because, you know, because he's just so freaking good. So that's how I met the lovely Dave.
Actually, he was in this room. I'm at La Belle Patat right now.
Yeah.
In this room. He brought Jay in the first time I met Jay. Probably 8 years ago, maybe 9.
It's got to be, yeah, man. But I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like kindred spirits stay together, you know? Yeah. Like, I mean, there's something about, like, when you meet people and you just, like, you vibe immediately. You're like, yeah, no, he's part of the tribe. Okay, you know, and you know, like, now I always feel like you have my back, like I have yours, Dave.
Absolutely.
You know, wonderful friendship.
Brothers.
Yeah, man. And now, Matt, meeting you, dude.
Yeah, man. And you're a musician, yes?
No, I'm a drummer.
You're a drummer. Are you? What are you doing right now for work? And I know with COVID-19, nothing is moving. There's no tours. What were you working on? Who were you working with before everything came to a screeching halt?
The band Loverboy from the 80s.
Okay.
So I was with them, and right at the beginning of March, we were supposed to go on a cruise ship, like cruise in the Caribbean for the, cruise, the 80s cruise kind of shit, with all these other bands. And the guys kind of said, the members kind of were like, we're not down with this. Like, cause that's when it was just starting, like, mid-March kind of thing. And so that's when it stopped. Luckily enough, like the Loverboy are nothing but a class act. I've worked with them on and off since 1997. So they did like look after us a little bit, the folks that aren't members. And but it's tough. Like right now, there's one date in May, but I can't see it happening. Everything else right now is starting in June, but I mean, it's fluid. We don't know. Yeah. So there's a lot of us that, so, like, I mean, just like everybody, like it's, I think, if anything, if you guys want to, kind of almost get political, is that at the beginning of the new Liberal government with Trudeau, Bill Marneau, the finance minister, who was hiding a castle from the CRA, hiding this castle he had in France, okay, from the Canadian tax, right? That's our fucking revenue minister. Anyway, this guy starts coming after independent contractors, which includes also people like doctors and lawyers, and that guy starts coming after us. And I think if anything, that this will kind of show that there's millions and millions of people that are independent contractors that do what I do, and we don't have like a net. We don't have a pension. We don't have things like that. Any pension we have, like, I mean, like I tell people, like, if you are lucky enough to amass $1 million, okay, that's $5,000 a month in revenue. So I'm 50 now. So in 20 years, what's $5,000 a month going to afford? But that's like pension. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a pension. I don't have like things like this. So I think if anything, this is really going to shine a light on how many independent contractors there are and how difficult it is to be an independent contractor, and how difficult, like my taxes are a mess. It like, cause you have so many receipts and so many things, like it's fucking ridiculous, man. So hopefully, like this kind, because he really came after us. Morneau really came after independent contractors in a budget 2 years ago, and hopefully this kind of shines a light. Like, we're not the people to come after, man.
Yeah.
We're the people that are independent, just trying to fucking make a living, Because I mean, there's so few people now that even have full-time salaried jobs. So many people now are like full part-time or something like that. Like, I mean, there's all this, I really feel that this is a shake up to the economy to show like, look, like people have gotten away with murder, like with putting Canadians in a place where they're so vulnerable,
Well,
so it's,
we also live in a day and age where going out and getting a job right out of school and staying there for 30, 40 years, they don't exist anymore. Like job security is like, it's so low. Automation is coming in. So everyone, what's happening right now across the planet, it's an eye opener for everyone. Like Mike, like, do you think I have enough savings to, like, I'll have to work till I'm 80 or 90, depending on if I can just talk for a living. I would spit out my last words if it was being recorded on my deathbed.
Well, I mean, but you do have a great voice, dude. Like for this shit,
Yeah. Agreed.
So I mean, it's a possibility.
Smooth and silky, like velvet.
With being a drum tech, you said that you've spent a lot of time with Loverboy. Can you I'm just looking for what was a weather event you're with Loverboy, you're the drum tech, you're somewhere in Canada or you're on tour. Just can you tell me a story of when weather showed up at a venue and it just was like one of the most frightening situations you've been in, like thunder and
Certainly.
lightning? Just give me a story.
Now, and just to say too, like I love drum teching. I love it, but I played drums also for a lot of bands, and so I kind of like I've juggled the two.
Yeah, amazing drummer, by the way.
From the time I graduated college, like I mean, I kind of like, because I just love drums. I love messing with them. I love it's the kind of thing, like it's been great that I've been able to work as both. And sometimes they kind of coincide. So with Loverboy, for instance, there's been a couple times where I play, you know. It's tough because all the songs are fast, but you know, it's been a thing. But I mean, I remember being with Default, who were, you know, like a big band in the early 2000s.
Great band. Dave Benedict on there. I know Dave. Dave's a great guy.
Yeah, man. Dave's my brother, man. Like yeah. He stole my look though. Like, cause
I know.
He saw me. I'll tell you just a sec. So I'll come back to that, Matt. But I mean, like, with my current band, Reverend the Rebel, the singer also has a hardcore band called Crankshaft, and they were shooting their latest video a couple of months ago, and Dave Benedict was directing it. And so it came time for they don't have a bass player right now, but I can play everything. So it came time for like the bass player shot, and the singer, my partner, was going to go in and fucking do it. And Dave's like, you can't, because your hand tattoo's already there. They'll just know it's you playing bass. And he's like, I'll do it. And I'm like, well, who's going to fucking hold the camera, dumbass? And so I was wearing this hat, and I took the hat off, and I took the toque off his head, and I put the toque on, and I played in the video, right? Like just played bass in the video. And I think he liked the hat and went out and got one.
He does have one.
I know, dude. All his current like fucking like things are all just like him with the fucking hat, and I'm like, dude, don't steal my thunder. Come on, man. You know. So we were playing. It was, I believe, Memphis, Tennessee, and down in the south there, these storms come in and they're nasty, and it's wind, lightning, rain, and we're on stage. Well, Danny's playing drums. Default's another band I ended up playing with, but I mean, Danny's playing at that time, and like, I remember the lights above him are swinging, like from the wind, and he's looking at me like, am I good? And I'm like, hey, you good still? Yeah.
He's probably all right. He's gonna be okay.
You know, but I mean, like there's a lot of danger in that, man, and not only just like during a show, but I mean, like if you're in a bus or a van, especially. I hate vans. Like, I mean, vans, like, you know, driving in winter. Oh, it's nasty. It's really tough. Those 15-passenger vans are fucking death vehicles. You know, it's
yeah,
it's tough.
They probably smell great though. A bunch of dudes in there driving around for weeks.
Isn't there nothing like a bunch of dudes in any place?
It smells like a fucking hockey bag.
Oh, put fucking 6 guys anywhere and it's just nasty. Like, that's why it's always good to have one girl around so somebody smells good, you know.
Yeah. all the guys use their perfume because they smell so bad.
Yeah.
Jay, are there any other, we certainly appreciate you coming on here on DMFK and the Pidge, Keenan and myself. Are there any other podcasts, the Joe Rogan Experience? Do you listen to him from time to time?
I listen to almost nothing but podcasts because my head is so full of music, and particularly with my new project, we've been writing a lot. And so my head is just full of music, and so I can't really listen to music to relax. I kind of have to chill with, like, I like the Joe Rogan podcast. I especially like Spittin' Chicklets, the hockey podcast from Barstool. I there's something about it where, like, even especially if you're doing, like, I mean, because normally, not now, normally, like, I fly Loverboy like a little over 130, 140,000 miles a year. Okay, so I'm on a plane a lot, and I don't have anything to talk about with anybody. Like, so there's something about, like, putting on something like Joe Rogan, putting on something like Spittin' Chicklets. You just feel like you're with your guys,
Mm.
you just feel like you're hanging out with your friends, and it's just such a great vibe, because this is something too. If I can take a right turn for a second, I don't think that there's enough talk about, for instance, like there's something about men hanging out with men. There's something about just the bros that is so vital, so freaking vital. And I think we've kind of almost lost it. And there's a lot of men out there, like myself, who essentially are lonely. Like they're good guys, and they're maybe they're in a great relationship, maybe they're married with kids and that kind of thing. But we can't stand up and go like, you know what, dudes have to kind of get together, like 4 guys, and we don't talk about anything interesting to anybody else. We talk about hockey, we talk about whatever, and there's something about that these podcasts, it's a void these podcasts fill. Is that you kind of listen to them and you kind of feel that you're hanging out with friends, just shooting the shit. Like with Spit and Chicklets right now, there's no hockey, but I've been loving like the latest ones, because the guys are like, they're talking about shit they're watching on Netflix, talking about like that Tiger King and all that kind of stuff. They're talking about it, but I mean, it's just like, I just get so enthralled, and it freaking turns off my brain. It turns off like the cares and worries and all that kind of thing, and work that I'm doing or whatever. And you get to just sit there and you feel like you're hanging out with your buds. And I freaking love it. I think this podcast is part of that as well.
That's exactly, that's a huge part of what we're doing right now. Like, we're trying to make sure people, like, cheer people up and keep people lighthearted. Like, a lot of people are down right now. Like, we talked about this in the last one too. It's like, cheer up. Like, everyone just do their part, and this will be over sooner than later.
We're all doing our part, but I mean, there's got to be just a thing where you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah, well, we're all in the same boat, for sure.
I mean, so Matt, you're in New Brunswick, I gather?
No, I'm in White Rock.
You're in White Rock.
But I'm from New Brunswick. I'm from the same town as Dave.
Woodstock, New Brunswick, center of the universe.
Yeah. The singer from Loverboy lives out there. And
is he?
So is the keyboard player as well. And so on Christmas Eve, dude.
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah.
It's a huge place.
It's a nice place. But we went out there. The girl and I went out there. I'm lucky enough that now and again there's a girl that hangs out with me, which it's nice. But like
the
so
same one that I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's a famous actor, So anyway, so we go out to Mike's place on Christmas Eve, and he's got like the living room set up, and he's like, nobody knows that Mike Reno can also play drums, right? So Mike's like got this drum set. I don't know where the F he got it from. And so we walk in the house, and it's this gorgeous house, lovely, lovely house. And beautiful spread, like, I mean, just a really nice time, a great group of people, all that kind of thing. Oh, the fuck is that?
Sounds like pussy to me. I know that sound anywhere.
It's either a cat or a child, and I like both. Anyway, so like we go out there, and as I come in the door with Pear, like Mike's playing drums, and he's like, "Oh, get the freak over here! Like, get the fuck over here!" I'm just like, "Ah!" And I go to Pear. I'm like, I don't get me something to drink, because I guess I'm on duty, know. And I sat there, and Mike's wife is Kathy St. Germain from the St. Germain clan. And her dad was there, who's very famous. He's hosted over 700 TV shows on CBC. Like, I mean, the St. Germains were all freaking there. And I was just put to work all night. It was so much fun. I mean, it's the way I'd love to spend, a holiday or something. I mean, like, I've played drums since I was 5. It's the only thing I can kind of do. So, I mean, like, I can't imagine a funner time than just sitting back there and playing for 3-4 hours, and all these people coming up. And in so many circumstances, like, these people that were coming up are freaking famous, like name people, but we're all just jamming. It's like we were in high school again. We're all just freaking just playing songs. But Ray St. Germain, her dad, who, again, like, one Canadian icon, I believe he's a member of the Order of Canada and that kind of thing. Like I come off for a break and Paraly's been talking to him for a half hour, has no idea who the hell he is. It was so funny. And he goes to me, he's like, son, that was some good playing. A compliment like that, that's one of those ones that just sticks in your head. It's like, okay, I guess I don't suck.
You definitely don't, man. I've seen you play a bunch of times. AG and Dan, I used to love watching you guys play.
Yeah,
It's sad I haven't seen you in a while. It was good to see you. We just ran into each other there a couple weeks ago on the street.
Yeah.
We came back from tour because all this fun wrecking virus. But there's always a bright side of it. I haven't seen you in so long. I brought you home. Brought you back home to Dave Keenan, baby.
There was a Dana show. Oh my goodness, it must be now like a few years ago, and their drummer couldn't do it, and so they asked me to do it, and like I hadn't played with them for over a year or something, and so I'm like, I'll freaking do it. We go into the rehearsal studio and we start jamming through the stuff, and I mean it's like no time passed. You know what I mean? Like just like we ran through the set once, and everyone's like, "Oh, I guess we're good. We're going to the pub." I don't know. Yeah. So
hey Jay.
Yes, sir.
A lot of negativity, a lot of bad press happening with the world with COVID-19. But on the other side, lots of great stories of individuals coming forward with great acts of philanthropy. I saw on your Facebook page you put a post up of Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
Paying all the staff.
You have a great respect for those that are able to give when they are fortunate enough to give.
Yes.
So I'm just curious, when was the last time you did a good deed to kind of put you on the spot?
What a dick
well, first
question.
off, again, I have to thank the Loverboy camp because they also looked after us as well. So I am so lucky to be involved with a group like that share that same philanthropic mindset. I kind of don't stop, and that's kind of like a
I thought you were gonna say I don't do anything for people.
no, because
Good.
I kind of just have this mindset, and I'm not. This isn't from a narcissistic place or anything like that. I kind of have a mindset where if I like to inspire, I like to if I can financially help, I often do. But in a position like myself, you'd be surprised how many people come out of the woodwork and ask you for money. It's crazy, but I mean, like I do help when I can.
I was gonna say, can I borrow $50?
Yeah, sure. You?
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I know. How many grilled cheeses can I get?
Oh, at least 10, 20. Unlimited.
But I mean, and this is something that I think, okay, so again, I digress, but I mean, I've got like I get asked all the time, like, how do you become successful or whatever, from drummers and that kind of thing. And I started just trying to figure out how to say it, because I mean, every success is different, and every road to that success is different. So I ended up breaking it down into 3 things. So I have 3 rules of success, and I think this applies to anything anybody wants to do. The first rule: don't suck. Now, a lot of people take that kind of lightly. Like, don't suck is important. Like, if we talk music, how many times has like, a friend of yours that plays in some kind of band or something gone like, hey, come out and see my band and listen to this and buy my record, and you listen to it and you listen to it once and you go like, that's great for Jim, and then you move on. Don't suck is really important, and it's fucking hard. It's hard. It takes blood, sweat, tears, practice. Like, I had to practice so freaking much that, I'm socially inept in several areas because I just spent all my time playing drums. I swear to goodness, like any girlfriend I had, from the 80s to the 90s were just like girls that came up and hit me on the head with a hammer and went, "We're dating." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that sounds nice." Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I did every ounce of my brain went towards playing, and it still does. Like, guys, I'm freaking talking to you and I have drumsticks like right fucking here. Like, I mean, like I don't stop. Okay. So don't suck is difficult, but that's really important. And it doesn't matter if you want to be a lawyer or if you want to be a doctor or if you want to be whatever. Like, don't suck is really important. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, be cool. Be somebody that people want to talk to, hang with. When you show up in a situation, be somebody that brings something. Brings like inspiration, brings brings the group up, you know, like you're bringing like energy. Don't be a downer. Don't like, you know, there's, it's interesting. I was backstage at a concert with somebody famous, and I won't say who's famous, and I won't say who the drummer is, but he's a friend of mine, and we were talking about this, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw online your 3 rules of success, but you know, like I didn't really get it." And I knew this drummer that we both knew who is really freaking good. He's really good, and he wants it so bad, but he's weird. Like it weirds people out. And I brought up his name. I'm like, "What about him?" Like that's the be cool. This guy weirds people out. He's just like he's just kind of just swarmy or something. He just weirds people out. You know what I mean? Instead of like so many situations I'm in, especially when I was doing so much studio stuff, like with Garth, like Garth Richardson, who I gotta give a freaking that man has saved me many times, you know. Like doing all these records with Garth and stuff, like I'd have to show up and there was like a group of people there that have been working on these songs for years and years, and then this fucking asshole from Kitsilano comes in and, you know, they're just like, "What the fuck you gonna bring?" And I immediately had to, you know, ingratiate myself. I had to become friends with them. You know what I mean? So I like learn to, for instance, try to find something would bring us together. Now, for me, like I'm such a Canucks fan. I'm born and raised in Vancouver, so I'm just a huge Canucks fan. And so, especially if somebody's like a Leafs fan, I just start hammering. But I just start hammering on them, right? Because automatically it draws. Oh, I know, motherfucker. Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm not parking there. But you know what I mean? Like so immediately, like in that situation, it brings everybody together, and now we can get creative. Now, like, you know, so that's an example. Don't suck. Be cool. Be somebody who brings inspiration in the room. Be somebody who brings something. Be, you know, especially as I'm older, like be a rock that you know people can lean on and that kind of thing. Like, I mean, that's really important for me, and I think it's vital in success. Okay, don't suck. Be cool. Number 3, have drive. Wake up in the morning, and you're gonna get it. You're gonna make it fucking happen. And I teach at Garth School Nimbus now and again, and I give you know, like clinics or whatever, and I sit there and I go to a class of 30 kids, and I'm like you want to be successful in the music industry, you got to fucking outwork me, and I'm out of my mind. I'm out of my fucking mind. So I mean, you know, good luck. But if you can outwork me, you'll get it. Mm-hmm. You know, now that type of drive that I possess has also been a terrible sacrifice. Like I've never been married. I've never had a family. I've never, like, all these things that my friends have that I live vicariously through them. You know, that's a thing that I can't respect enough. And when people in my industry, for instance, go like, I've had enough, I'm going to go do X or whatever. I just can't do this anymore. I'm like, fuck, God bless you. God bless you. Because I mean, I don't have that. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't stop. when I started my new band, Reverend and the Rebel, with my partner, who's the Rebel, I went to him like, I hadn't really been in that mindset. I'd just been like, playing, teching, whatever. And then he's like, I want to do this. Like, we're writing great songs. I'm like, okay, I will turn this on, but understand it's nuts. And luckily enough, he's the same as me. He has the same drive as I do. So, I mean, together, like, we have two extraordinarily driven people, But I think if you have those three qualities, don't suck, be cool, have drive. If you have those three qualities, in whatever you want, be an actor, a lawyer, a doctor, a stockbroker, whatever, I think you will be successful.
Who Tin Man?
And if you're missing one of them, that's a hole. Yeah. That's a problem. Fuck did I go
said, brother.
Give it up for Jay Deachman.
Influences, Jay. You probably have a ton of influences.
Can I ask this one question?
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Keenan.
Hey, Jay, if I were to say the name Jeff Porcaro, what's that mean to you?
What's that mean to me? Luckily, we're at my house, right?
All right.
So, guys, this is from my hallway.
I think he's probably a big influence on you, right? He played for he played in Toto, Steely Dan. He played for Michael Jackson. Played with the Bee Gees.
This is in my hallway. This poster, Jeff.
Yeah, baby.
Is in my hallway. Like Jeff is one of my biggest influences.
Yeah.
I never got to meet him.
Oh, really?
I got to meet his father, and I got to meet, especially with Bonamassa, like touring.
He died in like 92. He passed in like 92, right?
About that, yeah, August, I think.
August 5th, 92.
Yeah, and I was in Copenhagen at the time. My mom lived in Sweden, so, hey to all the Swedish people. So I was in Copenhagen with one of my classmates from the Manhattan School of Music, and we found out together, and it was sad, but I mean,
he did a lot in his life, though. So it's sad to die young, but to accomplish so much.
He did, and what was great because he was such an influence on me, man. If you want to, I can get technical about it. I don't know another drummer that had a better control of dynamics. In terms of like, he could play soft and still play soft with gravity. Yeah. Like, I mean, like even if he was playing soft, like it was so strong. It wasn't weak ever. Yeah. And like his personality, like, I mean, I'm sorry I never met him, and I'm such a huge fan. Yeah. And we can go on and on. I'm a huge. I mean, I have his fucking poster up, like when you come to my house. So, but I was so lucky to get to tech for. I've teched on and off with Joe Bonamassa, this guitar player from LA, for several years. And the first time I teched for him, I was hired to tech for the DVD and CD Vienna at the Vienna Opera House in Vienna, Austria, and I was teching for Lenny Castro, who's the percussionist for Toto, and they were just here like 8 months ago or something. I saw him, but so we did the rehearsals in Vienna. At this like TV studio, this weird TV studio. If you go on YouTube, you can see fat me running around, like
Chubby Deachman,
Chubby Jane, baby, and so teching for Lenny, and then the first show we did, I think it was the first show, was the Montreux Jazz Festival in Montreux, Switzerland, and
great,
yeah, and it was. Like Lenny is a legend, an actual legend, right? Like bad as hell. Yeah. Like he's been so good to me, and the Joe Bonamassa camp has been so fucking good to me. I'll show you some stuff if you want, but so I'm with Lenny, and we had an early show. Like, our show was at about 5 p.m., I think. And I'm from fucking Vancouver, and we're in Montreux, fucking Switzerland.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of town. Like, my brain is like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, just like, you're on Lake Geneva. Like, it's this fucking, like, get the fuck out of town. Like, you know, I forget who we were playing.
The language.
My God. My language is terrible.
I'm just kidding. You say whatever you want. No censorship.
So Lenny goes to me. Lenny's like, hey, after the show, I want to take you to this bar that Luke and I always go to here. Luke being Steve Lukather from Toto. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I have a couple of stories like this with Lenny, by the way. But so we go to after the show. Like, he takes me to this bar, and I mean, like, it's Montreux's like a small enclave. It's like a small town kind of thing, and we walk up these little stone streets, and we end up at this kind of like Irish bar with, like, you know, the oak and the brass and all that kind of thing. And he and I fucking sat there drinking Heinekens, chasing with Jamesons, hours.
Yeah.
Like, and he opened up about Jeff. He opened up with stories about my favorite drummer that I've looked at, like, and he's telling me, like, these personal stories that I can't tell right now.
That's cool. Man. Yeah. Tell me off show, please.
I will. But I mean, you know, it's just he was such an influence, because listening to him, like, his controlled dynamics, first thing, and then there's a bit of there's this weird kind of like balance that I try to emulate, where, like, you're in charge, but you're selfless, you know. So, like, when I'm playing for somebody or whatever, I have a lot of confidence, and I'm giving 110 fucking % every single time I sit down behind a set of drums, every single time, because I owe it to that fucking, right? But at the same time, I'm not precious about it. I'm part of a group, and the song wins. Team.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So song wins. So if somebody goes to me like, I don't know if what you're playing works, I don't get butt hurt. I don't go like, oh, you don't like my stuff? Like, I go like, all right, what do you hear? Like, you know, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, it's about the song.
It's not about you. It's about your contribution. Like, you contribute, and it's about the team. That's the way I think about every part of life with me, for sure.
I agree with that.
If you're even a fighter, someone like a boxer or an MMA fighter, like, it's a one-on-one thing, but it's not even them. It's everyone to help prepare them for that day too. See, people don't think about that. So you're totally right. Like, even tennis players, like, they have people that brought them there.
I always say that. Like, I mean, especially because I've been brought in to coach like drummers that are well known or whatever, but they're having trouble with something, and I've been brought in, and they'll be kind of weird. Like, I don't need a teacher, and I'm like, no, I'm not here. Tiger Woods has a coach.
Yeah.
Who's a better fucking golfer than Tiger Woods? But he has a coach. You know why?
Absolutely.
Because you're on the outside, and you can see, and if you have the knowledge to see that there's, you know, because for instance with drummers, one thing that holds them back are angles. So if you hold a stick, like, I mean, this is how I hold a stick. It's in the back of my hand. Everything's very, very light. But you see a lot of drummers that hold it in the front, and they kind of pinch like this in the front, and that's where they're playing from. That's what destroys the wrist and all that kind of stuff, is that kind of thing. That and angles, weird angles, right?
Masturbation too, probably bad for the wrist.
Well, fuck, I'm 50, I'm over it. I'd rather somebody else do it. I'll just show them the gold record.
Hey, I don't want to not to digress too much. Before we get too far, you mentioned like Montreux. Anybody out there that's listening, check out some of my favorite YouTube videos are Stevie Ray Vaughan in Montreal. Like,
Yeah.
The classic. The guy was amazing. He was
Yeah.
gone long before I was of age to even really appreciate him, but I appreciate him.
Oh, and in another lifetime ago, I used to live in Austin. Like my U.S. number is Austin still, right? And I got to hang out with Chris Layton, the drummer, and he told me that when they did that, it was like they were kind of like rebels even doing it, because I mean, like at that time, like to use electronic instruments, like Montreux was still very just jazz, like acoustic instruments, that kind of thing, and they come up with this electronic, so they had to win over people. You know what I mean? And I got a fun story in that same thing, because at the same tour we did, we ended up doing the Rotterdam Jazz Festival. And
That's like Rotterdam. Sounds like Germany or something, isn't it, or no?
It's Holland.
Holland.
Yeah. So Amsterdam, Rotterdam, right?
That makes sense.
We're up there, and who was opening up for us was some guy named Tony Bennett.
Holy shit!
Holy shit!
Tony Bennett. Are you fucking serious?
I'm serious. So because of being with Joe Bonamassa and being with Lenny, like Lenny's so funny, because Lenny, like anybody you bring up Lenny's like, fuck yeah, I played with him. You know, I got a funny story with Lenny too, I gotta tell you. But
I know you have thousands of them.
No, I do. And so like I get to watch Tony Bennett from like the monitor board, like just off stage, but I'm kind of on stage. But I'm right there, you know, with the band. And Tony Bennett's like doing his thing, just magnificent. And then there's this kind of thing where he gives everybody kind of a solo. Okay, so song's going on, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, on the saxophone, Mr. John Smith." And then he kind of like leaned against the grand piano like this, while John Smith played his solo. "Ladies and gentlemen, on the trombone, Mr. John Smith." He was leaning against.
Take a breather.
"Ladies and gentlemen, on the trumpet, Mr. John Smith." And goes back again. So after the show, I go to the tour manager. I'm like, is he okay? Like, is he, you know, because he's in his 80s, you know.
Yeah.
Is he okay? He's like, oh, fuck. He had an iPad on the piano with the Yankees game streaming. I freaking love it. I love like being tricked. It's so entertaining, and I know that something's going on, but
I know.
like,
dude, I've been
like,
watching AG for years. I'll study him and I watch him, and he still. I see him do something to people 10 fucking times, and I still can't figure out what the fuck he's doing. Sometimes I get it. One that's
his
not
hands
like
are so freaking quick, and the other thing is like the guy, like after that first time he hypnotized me, he can hypnotize me in a second, and he's done it. He's just dude. One time he comes up to me. And this is my fucking friend, okay? One time he comes up to me, and he just comes up to me, and he goes like this. He goes like this, like he's not touching me, but he does this, and he goes, "You can't swallow."
He's like a fucking goddamn Darth Vader.
And I couldn't swallow. I'm like he just has me. I don't even know if I'm here. Dude, I might be doing his dishes right now. I don't know, or washing his course.
You're not even
I don't
here.
know.
Jay, you're not even here, dude. We're not even doing this podcast right now. You're cleaning AG's toilet right now. You don't even fucking know. I know, he's a fucking wizard. Every time we go out drinking, sometimes he'll bust out some magic and just blow people away.
I love it.
And anyway, if anything's kind of slow, if we're having drinks and it's kind of a lull tonight, I'm like, "Hey, AG, why don't you show this person some magic?" And then the whole night, like an hour later, the whole fucking place, the whole bar is like surrounding us, watching him do his amazing things.
Have you been there when he does like the fork thing?
Oh yeah.
Fuck him.
The card tricks too, like same with Will Stelfox there.
Unbelievable. But I mean, again, for anybody watching this, you can go online, search Andrew Gerard. He has a YouTube channel just full of this stuff. And again, like we're talking about his magic, but his photography
Yeah, everything.
Any good picture taken of me, he freaking took.
Me
Like,
too. Me too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Mary,
I love the ones he took you.
It's like his talent is like Mary Poppins' fucking purse, man. Every time you reach down and pull something, it's never ending. You can pull a goddamn trombone, a fucking rhinoceros comes out of it. It's like, where does it fucking end? He just started, I didn't even know he played the harmonica, and he started doing these harmonica videos lately. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even know you could play the harmonica, and he's playing like I asked him if he could help us out with some intros and stuff, maybe some, and you too, hey, I have a question there. I'm getting off the topic. Do you have a drum set in your apartment? I'm not asking you to do something right now. I'm just asking. I was curious if you have one in your place.
I mean, like, yeah, but it's not set up.
No. I wasn't
right
asking
now,
that.
like, I mean, I wouldn't want to show it. But what most people have is a dining room.
Yeah.
Is
I knew it.
It's just they're just stacked up.
Yeah, that's cool. At some
stacked
point,
up. I am threatening to set them up for 7 p.m.
Okay. Well, hey, listen. I was hoping. I don't want to put you on the spot in front of like the millions of listeners we have, but
if it's 14, I'm happy, dude. Like, it's awesome.
we don't even know yet. We haven't put anything out yet. This is we've been prepping this for 2 months. This whole Wu-Tang virus, fuck, ain't nothing to fuck with. It's been putting a damper on things, but we're persevering now. We keep pushing. But if you were willing to do something to help us out, collaborate, and like make some kind of like original tunes for the show,
sure,
that would be great. I'll promote you every show. Not that you need promotion anyway, but
no, I mean it's that's the funny thing is like last night, for instance, like there's a website called Drumeo.com, which is like the main like online drum lesson thing, and I have about 40 or 50 hours of lessons on there, right? And this drummer that had seen my lessons and stuff kind of messaged me on Facebook, and she had some questions about it, and I'm going back with her like, oh, is it okay if I just freaking call you and message her, because it's easier for me to just talk about the type. And so it's like 10 o'clock at night, and she's in San Francisco, and call this drummer and explain the lesson, and she's like, oh, it's just so nice that you took the time to do this. I took the time. Like, I got nothing to do here, man.
I got nothing but time.
I am bored. I mean, but that's I'm trying to fill it up with stuff like online lessons and
yeah,
that
man,
kind of stuff.
That's one of the things I was going to ask you before we ended. Like, I know you teach drum lessons to like young people and people starting in your.
I don't really. Mostly what I teach is people that are either like intermediate or advanced.
Oh, really? So you don't even. Yeah.
I don't mind, but I mean, like, I'm not like I don't teach like, because the way I teach, for instance, like when you're teaching kids who are starting out, it's really good to have like the one book, okay?
Right.
And you teach from the one book, and every kid that comes in, well, this kid is on page 9. Well, this kid's on page 14. Well, that's the only way you can do it, I think. Have like, for instance, like the guys that are in the trenches and doing it, like, I mean, have 30 kids a week. Like, I think that's the only way they can do it. Where I get too deep, because I like look at what somebody's doing with their technique or with their mindset or whatever, and I kind of like customize like what we're going to do, you know what I mean, based on several different principles from several different areas, you know what I mean? So like I don't mind teaching kids, but it's just a waste, because also because of what I did, I mean, I charge $120 an hour, right, to do the online lessons, but I mean, through PayPal, but I mean, like, I really feel there's value in that.
Absolutely, so dude. You've been everywhere.
But it's wasted on like a 9-year-old or something like that.
So
like,
wait,
I mean,
I'm 41, and basically your talents.
You don't look a day over fucking 22.
I don't look a day over 40. I know, but if you were to teach me, it'd be like wasting on a 9-year-old too, because I'm terrible. I
No, because you would understand what I'm talking about. So it doesn't matter that you haven't played before. It's just a 9-year-old, like the way I talk, won't understand like the intricacies of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas like
I'm
somebody
super
who's
smart.
40,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
who's even just starting will hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Will understand what I'm talking about. Like, because I mean, again, so much of it is just like not being
Technique.
tense
Yeah.
and angles and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, but you go to what a 9-year-old wants to do, and I love it, is they just want to like freaking hit shit.
Yeah.
They just want to like, and you know, like they just want to like go nuts and hit stuff, and awesome.
You were saying
That's
before
great.
when you were 5. I wanted to ask you, like, when was the point that you knew you wanted to be a drummer? Like, were you banging on like pots and pans, or like banging?
Not like that. My uncle had a snare drum and a hi-hat. I don't know why. I should ask him. I don't know.
Snare
I don't
drum
know
and a hi-hat. That's it.
That's it. And so I saw them, and I was attracted to them. I started with violin when I was 4. I'm an only child, and from a single parent. So, like, I had a lot of time on my hands. And so I kind of like, I don't know why. And I gravitated towards it, and I just started, and I went into it. And like, I took lessons and stuff, and I love lessons even now.
Learning things.
I don't know why. Dave, like, this is the thing, is like there was never a question. That question didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like,
it's you. You can't even fight it. It wasn't a decision you made. It was forced upon you by the universe.
not at all. But at the same time, I worked really hard at it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
you know, like I tell people, like, and this isn't with hubris, but I mean, I know how fucking good I am.
Yeah.
And it's not a mistake.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there is like an innate element of talent. But,
absolutely, but without hard work, you're not gonna excel at anything. Like, you can be naturally good at anything. Like, I can throw a good punch, but I'm not in the UFC. I never fought in the UFC because I didn't put enough drive into it. And I love swatting.
Right? So that's rule 3. You know what I mean?
I know exactly.
Right?
That's why I'm making poutine. I'll tell you what, I'm making fucking poutine like no other motherfucker does.
That is true. I can't wait to have some.
But
again. But listen, brother, like,
trying to get away from that with this podcast.
Also, what you do, you know, like even with this, you have to understand, like, what you're doing is like, even hanging with Matt like this and me, like you're such a fucking great guy, man. Like, and you bring happiness, and you inspire people. You make people happy. Like, when I talk to you, whatever's fucking going on in my head, like, goes away, and I fucking love like talking to you, dude. You're
back at you, brother.
You're a good man. You know.
Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry.
If I can interrupt this love fest between you two,
romance.
I just want to say that I believe that laughter is the best medicine.
Absolutely.
Which is why, you know, I've never hung out more with Dave Keenan than I have probably within the last year or so playing baseball together. Late night TV.
Champions.
Of course, everything is shut down, but you still have the late night TV hosts, the Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Samantha Bee, James Corden.
Yeah.
They're still doing their shows from home. So I'm just asking you, how important is it for individuals to stay positive? And with everything that's going on in the world right now, what is your mindset right now dealing personally with COVID-19?
Perseverance.
Freaking great freaking question.
That's why he's here. He's the man.
Look, man, I think this is tough for everybody. And
absolutely.
Like I said at the top, like, I mean, about like, this is going to change people's ideas about what people like I do and that kind of thing. Like I said, like, I mean, any money I have that I might burn through now isn't replaceable. I'm going, basically going through any hope I have of money I have when my hands don't work anymore. You know, because I mean, what I do is so physical. Like, I mean, like I have a custom cane because I have like an arthritis thing that comes up now and again that then I'm limping on a cane. I can't believe that I can still play the way I can play when I sit down. I can't freaking believe it, you know. But
every day that we live, we're on this rock. First of all, flying through space. I don't even know how fast. I should know this. I went to school for a while, but man, every day we live is a miracle. And people, I try to express to people how, with me, every day I have my dog Teddy. He's my best friend. Every day I have this guy. Every day I have this guy is a miracle. So try to not to be miserable ever. Like, I know we all have bad days. We have bad months. We have bad years. But, you know, if you hang in there, there's peaks and valleys. It goes down and goes up. Like you're going to go up. You're going to have a great fucking year. Then you're going to have a shitty year. And you want to end it. You want to end it. But just keep going. Like, keep fighting. It always gets better.
It always does. It always changes. We don't know what's going on now. I certainly personally hope that we're able to get out there come hopefully June and that kind of thing. I think that like BC today has less cases than ever. So I mean, things are going well.
Yeah.
For me, like it's funny you said the laughter thing because I'm a huge comedy fan.
Yeah.
And I'm a closet wannabe comedian. You know what I mean? Like I'm a Facebook. I imagine one day like I'm gonna go up sometime. I'm gonna go up and do like an open mic. I'm gonna do it.
Let's do it. I'll do it too. Carl, my buddy Carl, and we had Carl Turnbull. He used to work here. He's been doing comedy for 15 years at least. And we had Byron Bertram on here last week too. And like I know that Carl would he likes to inspire people too. He's a great guy. He's funny, and just to go out there and try it, it's the scariest fucking thing because like I like to joke around and stuff and be funny, but going up there and putting yourself out there, you're taking a huge risk that no one laughs and you get booed off. And all the great comedians, anyone will tell you, Kevin Hart, like Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, they've all gone up and they've all bombed. Everybody's bombed. They've got booed off stage. No matter what Eminem, as a white rapper, he used to get booed off stage and shit thrown at him constantly. But look, he's like the best rapper around.
I did open mic twice at Yuck Yucks in Abbotsford.
Okay.
The first time was awful.
Yeah.
The second time was more awful.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Get better.
I wanted to do it just to prove to myself that I could do it.
Absolutely.
But the thing for me, I don't swear. I'm not vulgar in any of my performances. I don't drink. So those two right there, trying to entertain a bunch of drunk people while you're sober. As the host said when I finished, he said, "There you go, folks. Just proving that comedy's not for everybody."
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah.
Well,
But they said I was a good storyteller.
He was trying to win the crowd over right there. He's taking the low road right there.
Yeah. No, it was
like the thing is like
Pigeon's a funny guy.
When I do these like, for instance, these drum clinics and these courses at Nimbus and you know like the problem is that the drumming thing is so inherent within me and that kind of stuff that it doesn't really make me nervous at all. But I mean, it's like the problem is that they give me a mic.
Yeah.
They give me a place where I can try shit, right? And so several times, like people have gone like, "Are you like a frustrated comedian or something?" I'm like, "Yes, I am. Yes."
All comedians are
like. Let me tell you. Let me. You guys are gonna like this, dude. So there's like when I do like the clinic I do with Nimbus is I'm teaching people that want to be engineers and producers about drums. Because, I mean, certainly, like, right now, like, a lot of these people, like, don't understand why you need an actual fucking drummer. Like, why you need acoustic drums. Like, they don't understand the instrument at all,
Timing.
right?
You need the timing.
It's beyond that. Like, I mean, because remember,
the most basic part of it is the whole band needs a drummer.
But Davey, they have an app for that. You know what I mean? He's a
Fuck
studio
yeah.
guy, right?
Except for Zoom.
I mean,
Zoom's a
like
great app.
so I go in and I teach them about like the beginnings of drums. Like, you know, fuck. Shit, I won't grab one. I don't
You
want
want to set it up so bad. We're gonna have you on again soon. So next time, have it all set up. We're gonna hear some fucking Jay Deachman drum shit, big time.
All right.
I'm gonna have my pants. My pants are gonna be off. I'm gonna have pants on.
The snare drum, the original snare drum. Snare drums have these springs on the bottom, right? And those are called the snares. But the original ones were made out of catgut, right? Which also was violin strings. And that kind. So you would take like you know, like a cat, and you'd have to kill it, and then you take its guts would make.
Wait. Let's pretend the cat died of natural causes.
Let's not. So this is what like. So I'll be teaching them this. I want to give them like a history behind the drum set and all that kind of thing. And I go deep, right? And I always go when I'm doing the catgut. When I'm talking about the catgut thing, I always go like you know, like, and everyone goes ew, and I'm like, oh, cats are shitty. Like, I mean, you know, out of every 100 cats you've ever met, 3 were good. Like, I mean, like, and I go to this thing like my mom, my wonderful mom that I love so dearly, she has this fucking cat, and I tell her that if she unfortunately passes before the cat, that cat is free.
Give it to me, Jay.
Door,
bring it to me.
Close the balcony. You know, it's look, guys. It's a beautiful freaking cat. Like somebody's gonna pick this thing up and
they're assholes. Though. They'll fuck you up.
But that cat doesn't do anything. It doesn't fucking like to get pet. It doesn't want to sit with you. It doesn't want to get picked up. It doesn't want. What it does is just sit there and looks at you and judges you and bitches at you. That's what that fucking thing does.
Feed me. My cat. Every time I come home, Moosie's like, if she has no food, she's like, meow meow, feed me, you fat motherfucker. I'm like, and then as soon as I feed her, she's like,
are you sure that's not a 22-year-old exchange student in your apartment?
I mean, well played. Hey, I don't want to digress too much again, but before I forget, that flag that's behind Pigeon, especially since you have so much history behind it, your family, how would you feel about putting your signature on that bad boy?
It would be my honor.
Awesome. We'll get that done. Everybody in the podcast, I'm hoping. I just thought of this now. I mean, why not? Everybody on there. We got Justin Trudeau signed it. We got Ron McLean signed it. Not we. Pigeon did all this.
This is nearby.
We're hoping to get Don Cherry. Because Don Cherry, hashtag Don Cherry is God. That's my hashtag. I've been saying for years. I love Don Cherry.
He's. Let me show you this. So this is close.
Any of you people that don't like Don Cherry, get bent. Kick rocks. Get over yourselves.
Get
so again. So my grandfather started when he was first elected to Parliament. He was under Pearson when he picked the flag and stuff.
Is it Lester B. Pearson? Is that his name?
That's correct.
Oh shit! I remember something from school. Yeah, cool.
And then after that was Trudeau, right? And so this is
the first Trudeau.
The Christmas card from that time. I don't know if you can see that. So that's the Christmas card that they would send.
Okay.
Is this one?
Was it Justin Sasha who?
It was just Michelle.
Oh, okay. It does look like Pierre Trudeau. Holy shit, man. That's pretty cool.
So that was this. I have so much of this kind of stuff around my
of course.
place.
And it reminds you of your granddad, doesn't it?
It
What
does.
was your grandfather's name?
Grant.
Grant what? Dakeman?
Grant Dickman. Same last name as me. Yeah.
Dakeman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
So you can look
okay.
him up and see all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Remember after you told me, I checked things out. Let me ask you this. I did not a whole lot of prep, but last night I went and I looked through some stuff on is Rolling Stone magazine. I know they're kind of can be kind of political and dicks about stuff. So I kind of looked around. What would your 5? I was going to ask you for 10, but let's just do 5. Your 5 favorite drummers. Without Percello, we all know he's huge, like influence.
Yeah, Percello would be
5 favorite drummers.
Okay.
5 most influential and favorite. Yeah.
So Percello,
Yep.
then Steve Gadd.
Okay.
Steve Gadd is also like a very famous guy. Steve Jordan.
Okay.
And 2 other drummers, and I'm lucky enough to have their. Again, I'll just start showing the fucking shit from the museum back here. But I mean, like I've got their autographs. Tony Williams. So
Okay.
Tony played with Miles Davis. He joined the Miles Davis quintet when he was 16.
Wow.
And Tony changed the way that we played. And I actually, if you know Tony and you see me do the fancy crap online or whatever, you can hear that I'm just trying poorly to phrase shit like Tony. You know, like the guy was just groundbreaking. And he signed something for me. I went and saw him play, and he signed something for me that I hold very dearly. And then the guy that changed drumming entirely, changed the way drummers play, is a man named Alvin Jones.
Alvin Jones, absolutely. That's Alvin the one name I recognize there. I was wondering. I went through last night. I was looking at the top 100 drummers of Rolling Stone, and I think all those guys were in there. I think, but I know Alvin Jones was for sure.
So Alvin really came out with Coltrane, with John Coltrane, right?
Yep.
And Alvin
jazz drummer, right?
Yeah. But before that, bebop more. Bebop is just because I mean, before that, the swing stuff, drummers played. It's easier if I play it. Really, it's hard to describe. But I mean, drummers played kind of like their feet just did one thing all time, and then their hands would play on top of it.
Yeah.
Alvin Jones, just every limb did something. Everything was part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he really changed the way that we approach drums, and both he and Tony too, because I mean we're talking jazz, and both he and Tony, these guys were monsters. Like we're saying jazz, but they hit harder than most rock drummers. These guys hit drums.
And
Alvin was
jazz being underrated too. It's probably the real like the Coltrane's and back in the day, the change in tempo and the amount of ability it took in to put one of those crazy songs together is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff you hear in elevators and stuff is like meh. But
that's not jazz.
No, it's not. But they call it jazz, but it's not. But the ones you're talking about, the jazz you're referring to, is like probably the most technical of all, I think, right? Or no?
It still is. It still is.
Yeah.
I'm really shitty at it, but I give it a run. Like,
I doubt you are. That's some modesty coming through there, but
I mean, like it is. All right, so
everybody stay tuned for the Jay Deachman fucking YouTube jazz station.
Listen, I don't want to take too much time because I can like really go, guys. But I mean,
it's okay.
You want to talk about it, okay?
We'll bring it back again many times. Don't worry about that.
Where's jazz from? Yeah. Jazz is from New Orleans. Okay.
Yep. New Orleans. NOLA.
Right.
They hate that, by the way, I think. Oh, something froze on me. You guys still?
Jay's froze.
Oh, he's froze. Okay, I didn't know if all of us were frozen or not. But
Okay, still?
there he is, coming back. You're back.
We
I
still
thought
back?
I thought you were pausing for like what's that word? Dramatic something rather.
Dramatic pause.
Thank you, dramatic
Matt's
pause.
still here.
At least we had your nose blowing come
I don't
back.
see Matt anymore.
Wash your hands, motherfucker.
Oh, dude, I'm
just
allergic.
kidding.
I'm allergic to dust.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to
I
dust.
was sneezing this morning before I went to bed, like 8 in the morning, and as I was sneezing, I was laughing because I was sneezing into one of my dish rags, whatever. But I can just
Don't
imagine,
call her that.
I can imagine everybody in the building, buttholes puckering up, and like, oh shit, he's got it. He's got the corona. He got the Rona. But
I
no,
don't see
it was just
Matt
sneeze.
Matt, are you still with us?
I'm still here, yeah.
Okay, good. Now I see you. All right. So, like, I mean, if you want to get into like jazz and rock and all that kind of thing, so all music basically is from West Africa. So if you look at West Africa, when Spain took the slaves into the Caribbean, like West African music, there's a music called bembe, which is it's a real specific rhythm. As you know, the slaves were brought to the Caribbean against their will. The music changed a lot, and so particularly in Cuba, it really came out. Then the slaves were brought from the Caribbean to the States to work the cotton fields, right? And in New Orleans on Sundays, only in New Orleans, they allowed the slaves to play music on Sundays in Congo Square. And that's where
Congo Square?
Congo Square is called. And that's where jazz that's where jazz really started, right?
Right.
And then as you know, life progressed, and you've heard about the Underground Railroad, which, you know, brought these poor people to Canada, right? Yeah. The music also migrated, went through Chicago, right? And in Chicago, it became the blues.
Yeah.
And from the blues, which is from jazz, same time signatures, everything's threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Go to jazz at 3, 4, right? All together, right?
Yeah.
So all music comes from that.
Yeah.
Now the great thing about jazz is
not techno though. That's garbage. Just kidding, everybody.
Okay.
Chill out.
Okay, techno to a point, but I mean, like I've heard. It is. It's just what I'm missing right now is this reliance on computers. This reliance on just like sucking the actual art out of it. I don't like that, and I don't really listen to that. Like, still, if I'm listening to music, like I do listen to Toes, but I mean, those guys, there's nobody better. Those guys are so freaking good. And Shannon Forrest, the drummer that's playing with Toto right now, is incredible. Keith Carlock, the drummer that was playing with them for a brief bit before, last time I was in hey, Daddy.
Then Uncle Jay?
Last time I was in New York, I got to see Keith Carlock play at the 55 bar, and it was
Keith Moon?
inspirational shit.
You say Keith Moon?
No, Keith Carlock.
Oh, Keith Carlock.
Another drummer, but anyway, so I digress so quickly. So
I was gonna say Keith Moon died in like '78. I'm like, man, you must have been a kid.
yeah, fuck.
I miss you.
He was a maniac, man.
Yeah,
So, he was amazing, but who knows what the fuck he did? No idea. So, guys, any other questions? I don't want to go too long, and I
have a million, but yeah, we've been going on a while. We don't have to go on forever, but
no,
we'll have you on again. We there's so much to talk about, like, you know.
Love it. Be my
Yeah,
honor.
let's next time we'll try and hopefully in a few weeks down the road we can all physically get together. But yeah, certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your night to join an episode of DMFK and the Pidge.
Jay Deachman. Hey, Deachman, do you want to, is there anything, so what are you doing right now for cash flow? Are you still doing like lessons and stuff on YouTube?
Yeah. It's basically like the only thing I'm able to do is just the online lessons. So I mean, like, anybody.
Where would they find you out here? Are millions of listeners?
So it's Jay Deachman. If you search Jay Deachman anywhere, JayDeachman, like Instagram, Facebook, all that. My email is jdeachman@gmail.com.
Yeah,
I mean, like anywhere like that. Because
anyone have kids out there? They want, or not kids, I guess.
Not necessarily. No, it's just anybody. Because I mean,
anybody wants to learn some drums, go check out some Deachman.
Because I mean, also it's fun. Like for instance, with that drummer I was working with last night, she's in her 40s, and we're talking about more of the mental side and the listening side. So like
3 rules. I bet you
like,
tell your 3 rules to everybody, don't you? Like when you're teaching them. Anyone you're teaching, you don't your 3 rules about success.
Not always.
No.
Oh.
No. I thought that'd be the first thing you said. You motherfuckers. You listen to this.
Not necessarily. I mean, like for me, like it's like again, with each person I work with, I want to talk to them about where they're feeling like they're. So I mean, for instance, this student last night, like she felt that she was having problems just like in interpersonal relationships with bandmates and that kind of thing.
Take it out the drums.
So we talked about that, and then then we talked about some things in her drumming that we could improve really easily, like that. So I set up a plan for her to really like ground her sense of time, So kids are, dude, $120 an hour. Kids are wasted on that. Like, I mean, if you
fair enough. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like if you want, yeah, I'll sit there and go. But I'll teach
your rich ass little spoiled ass kid for $120 an hour.
But I mean, like it's just like more useful for adults who understand what I talk.
After 5 years of playing hard or something, then come to you.
Yeah. Or just be an adult. Like never played drums before, but it's just the way I talk doesn't really work with. Because you can't go to a 9-year-old like, okay, listen.
Shut the fuck up.
Because like, dude, like, and we have to support and encourage it. Like a 9-year-old behind a drum set wants to freaking go nuts.
Where it starts.
And they should. You know what I mean? They should.
Is that movie phone, Keenan?
I don't know why the fuck.
Welcome to movie phone.
Yeah, welcome to the phone. Like, yeah.
What do we do? Are we framing the flag after?
Yeah.
Are we doing what with the flag?
Are we just framing it after? Is there even room for me to sign that thing? Look at all that. That's amazing.
Buddy. There's always room.
There's still room on here.
I was one of the first ones. I don't know how many signatures do you have on there before I signed the page, like 20 or 30?
Maybe hundreds.
Oh, I don't know, man. There's
I took that back.
Well, Keenan signed it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I put DMFK 79 on there. I put Dave Keenan.
But the one of the coolest things, well, I mean, aside from having the Prime Minister's signature on there, Ron McLean, who was out in Langley a couple years ago, one of the coolest things I did is we have a 12-year-old teacup chihuahua named Zorro. So what I did is I took 2 colors of paint. I think I took a yellow and a blue and painted his pads and then had him walk across the flag. So I always have his prints on the flag.
He's adorable. He has like 3 teeth left. He's amazing.
You understand? Like my grandfather would love that. I mean, it's just
good. There's some people,
man.
There's some people giving Pidge grief, like, oh, it's disrespectful. We're like, no, it's not, dude. Like, we will be doing it. There's no bigger patriots than me and the Pidge and Deachman over here.
Pride.
I know. That's exactly. Obviously,
like goodness, we are so lucky to be Canadian.
Absolutely,
we are so freaking lucky. And the one thing that's interesting from touring, well, from playing in the U.S. so much over 30 years or whatever, is that the way Canada is different. Yeah, you go province to province, and people are different. People are different in Alberta. People are different in New Brunswick. People
Absolutely.
are different in Newfoundland, you know.
They're the best in New Brunswick.
But listen, dude, like when we're all Canadian,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
we're
there's
one.
just, we're one, and you don't see that in the States.
No. I mean, when certain things happen, maybe like 9/11, the shit, super terrible tragedies bring people together. It sucks. It sucks that things happen. It sucks that it takes that to happen to bring people together. You know, the powers that be that are fucking puppeteering over us. All they want is all of us to be separate and divisive and be divided and fight amongst each other. It makes their job way easier. If we just like have some compassion for, like whenever an argument, say if someone cuts you off or someone's being a dick at the grocery store, you know, just think maybe their mom died that day. Maybe they had a shitty day. They're not like that all the time. Some people are like that all the fucking time. Let's not get it twisted. But you know, we all have bad days. You know, so whenever someone bumps into somebody, they're giving the attitude, just fucking kill them with kindness.
Here's an example. Here's an example of Canada, and I'll get political for a quick second, and then I'll get back to
whatever makes you happy, brother.
Like Trump goes, okay, stop 3M from shipping face masks to Canada, right?
Yeah, we should have talked about that. You're right.
And everybody, like, you know, like is freaking out. And Trudeau, like, they're like, Trudeau, what are you gonna do? And he's like, nothing. Okay, we don't agree with it, but I mean, nothing. Next day, Trudeau's like, I got millions of face masks coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I got a warehouse in China. Like, you know, like that's Canada. We don't go like, you know, hey, fuck you, motherfucker. We helped you. Like, he doesn't do that. Yeah. We just go like, you're doing that. Okay, we'll do this.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't do. There's one thing I learned from my mother. My mother is like my biggest idol.
Me too.
Keaton. She one thing she never did was take ultimatums. Even when I was a kid, excuse me, when I was a kid and I was trying to be a little smart ass, trying to put up an ultimatum, it never worked with mom. And that's one thing I learned. If anyone tries to hold over me, anything over me, I'll go 6 months without eating if I have to. Are you guys paused?
No, I'm not paused.
You're just sitting there listening. I couldn't believe that someone was listening to me that long. But ultimatums, if someone gives me an ultimatum, even if it hurts me for half a year, I will fucking go against it. There's no way. So that's the same type of thing. It's like Donald Trump trying to be a bully. And a lot of people don't like Trudeau. Listen, I'm not the hugest fan of him, like in every aspect, but I voted for him the last 2 times, and I'll tell anybody that. If the Conservatives had a viable candidate that wasn't a slime bag or a piece of shit like that, what's his name again? I forgot him already. Scheer, he's just a snake. Like, you know, it's kind of like with when Trump won. And they had Hillary Clinton. Like, she's quite unlikable. No one really likes her. She almost won, but he won because, you know,
because that's the way it went. So guys,
I voted for Trudeau. I think he's kind of. I like his humanitarianism. I like his compassion. He has quite a big compassion.
I think personally, and I know him, not like have his phone number, know him, but know him. I think he's really this whole thing.
Like, he's too lenient on crime for my liking, but other than that, I think he's doing a great job.
With his wife, like getting sick from this and that kind of thing. I think he has become the leader we wanted him to be. I really feel that.
Unless you're from Alberta.
I think he's just done an amazing job.
I think so too.
I was starting to get upset with him on several different fronts, but I just think like right now, I think he, like, in this crisis that we're facing in our country that we love. Yeah. I am just so happy that we have a leader like him. Yeah. And I even suspect, like, for instance, I think one of the most brilliant politicians It's funny how we all end up talking about politics, right? One of the most brilliant politicians I think we ever have is Joe Clark, who was a prime minister for only like 8 months or whatever. But I just, like, you listen to him speak, that motherfucker is an intelligent motherfucker. So is Ben Mulrooney, right? And I wouldn't be surprised.
You mean Brian or Ben?
Ben Mulrooney.
The guy that's on E-Talk or whatever?
No, it was a
Brian's the dad.
Yeah. Brian,
okay, so hey, get
that
this.
Ben Mulrooney on E-Talk. I'm like, he's such a little
I
dude.
hit shit for a living.
All right.
I'm not gonna this is why they don't put
we
me
all
on
knew who you
TV.
meant.
So Brian Mulrooney, pardon
we all
me.
knew who you meant. Yeah, okay. That's what.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
quick
Brian
story
Mulrooney.
before I leave. Quick story before I leave. So I'm on that fucking show. I'm on that show, and like fuck, in the green room backstage, the other guest was somebody who had, like, I want to say it was like a squirrel. It was like it was some kind of a varmint in a cage.
Richard
So
Gere?
I'm sitting backstage in the green room, and it's me and like a rodent in a cage. That's it. Okay. and Ben Mulrooney comes in, and I'm like, holy fuck, are you ever fake tanned? You know, I was just like, that's that side of business I'm not a fan of. But
Right. Yeah.
my memory, but his dad, pardon me, Brian Mulrooney, his dad, again, another genius when it comes to this. So I think that Trudeau, I wouldn't be surprised if he's calling them for guidance and shit. Listen, so like all my social media is Jay Deachman. So JayDeachman. Add me on like Instagram, add me on Facebook, add me on whatever. Anybody wants lessons, I'm fucking down because nothing to do here.
He's
And,
a huge fan of dick pics. So if that's your thing, I mean, send some bobs.
Oh, goodness. I've even turned all that off. Thanks, Dave.
I'm sorry,
Guys, it's
I've
been
had a
such
couple. I've had a couple pops, you know. So.
Fuck. You're not that far away, man. Anyway, guys,
Hey,
what
listen,
a pleasure to be on this with you.
Thank you, man. I hope we can
Thanks
all
for hanging out, Jay. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. And we'll do it again soon, I hope.
Well, the next time I see you, I'll have this with me. We'll get your signature on it.
That'd be my privilege. Thank you so
That'd
much.
be awesome. Awesome stuff, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Right on.
Everybody,
Thanks,
Jay Deachman.
Do you know how to leave the program?
Huh?
Do you know how to leave the program? You got to do it yourself.
Do it yourself? You just make it up?
Well, no, you
that's
just touch your screen. It'll give you a prompt to hit leave.
I was just going to let you guys watch me like walk around here in my underwear.
I was thinking, you know, we
can make this like a 9-hour podcast of me just fucking like walking around in my underwear like farting and playing Call of Duty. We could do that.
You know,
We'll put it up on Pornhub.
Well, the same thing that Pigeon did with Zorro. We could.
Oh
paint,
fuck! I forgot.
butthole.
Oh my goodness! I forgot to mention Reverend and the Rebels, my new band, Reverend the Rebel on Instagram and stuff.
I'll put that on text. I'll put that on there.
Literally is the best shit I've ever written. So it's and my song writing partner and my partner Shane he's a voice like it's like Chris Cornell.
I didn't even know you're doing this, so I'll check it out right away after
Chris
the show.
Stapleton. The stuff
And
is
hey,
just
and
the
Jay,
best.
so LVP, we're open for takeouts. You want to come and get some food to go? Come get some, man. We're
I'll
open.
see if Paralee still talks to me.
Yeah. We kept her name out of it mostly, so you just said it now.
Uh,
Trying to save
that's
her.
right. That's right.
I didn't want to fucking involve her in my vulgarity because I have too much respect and love for her.
She's actually, well, you can see her kids on all the Hallmark movies, so there she is. Yeah.
Tell her I said hi and give her my love too. I love her. I miss her.
I will. What a pleasure. Thank you so very much. I'll get her to come over right now and grab fries. Good night, guys.
Okay. Take care, Jay.
Thank you so very much.